If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on, they'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Bommarito Automotive Group. Bommarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership, and they are proud to represent the #1 podcast in St. Louis, the STL Bucket List Show. We've personally purchased several vehicles from Bommarito, including our last one, which we recently just had another baby, so we had to upgrade to an SUV with third row seating. The entire team, John, Chuck, they all treated us like family. There's really nowhere else that we would buy a car in Missouri other than Bommarito Automotive Group. Enjoy the show. St. Louis, we're back with a special episode of the STL Bucket List Show. I am your host, Luke Farrell of STL Bucket List. We're closing in on episode 200 coming up this December, so super excited to be here. We drop a podcast every single Wednesday for those that have been listening to us. Our mission is to highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. Have one of those people in the studio today. We got Greg Warren. Many of you guys know, comedian, superstar at this point. So the reason we're having Greg on, obviously, the Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, you're going to be there on November 4th.
Yeah.
And then you're doing that hometown show at the Funny Bone, the 6th through the 9th, with a family show to cap off on the 9th.
Yeah.
What does it mean first of all, what does it mean to be on the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon?
It means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that show's been around forever. It's been sort of a place for comedians to showcase for, I don't know, a long time. And I've done a few other late night shows over the years, but I've never gotten to do the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something I always, kind of had in the back of my head, sometimes in the forefront of my head, I guess. But
as a bucket list thing for you.
Just kind of a really, really cool thing to do. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that's
I think there was sometimes where I was like, I'm too old now. It's not, but now I'm like, I'm kind of glad I waited, because I feel like I'm better than I was 10 years ago.
Do you feel like comedy? So comedy is one of those things. So like, I'm in my day job is digital marketing, and I feel like I get better with time, and I'm getting better and better. But do you feel like comedy is similar to that? Because it's different than being an athlete, where do you have a prime in comedy, or do you think that your material evolves with different things that are going on in the world pretty much too?
I mean, I think you get better,
Mm-hmm.
As long as you continue to write.
Yeah.
I think you get better. Maybe there's a point. I imagine there's some point where they're like, this guy's can't remember what he's saying. But I haven't hit it yet. But I definitely think, I'm better than I was 2 years ago, and I'm definitely better than I was 5 and 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And then right after the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, you're going to be hitting your hometown up for how many different shows? You're going to be there from the 6th and
7 shows or something. Yeah, we're doing Thursday, 2 Friday, 3 Saturday, and then we do that matinee kids show on Sunday.
Wow, that's going to be super special. And then you're right back in Texas a couple days after that. So you don't even get a time to kind of you get a couple days to stay here with family and hang out, but maybe you're on the road right after that. Then.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's the only really way to do it is be out a lot. I'm out, I don't know, 250, 300 days out of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Multiple shows a night sometimes. And
yeah, man.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you guys go to your tour, Impulse Buy Comedy Tour, you guys can see. So St. Louis from the 6th through the 9th and out to Texas. And then you're even doing a show the day after Christmas in Kansas City.
We're doing like a ton of shows in Kansas City. I did, I opened for Nate Bargatze in Kansas City. Nate's playing these giant arenas.
Yeah.
We played, it was at T-Mobile or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did 2 shows there, and, I've opened for Nate a few times, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's Missouri, and I talked a little bit about Kansas and Missouri.
Yeah.
But I call my manager. Hey, man, I think I might have just had the best show I've ever had. And then the comedy club, because we had dates there in December, and the guy called me. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? I'm like, what are you talking? He's like, we're selling tickets for your December date. So like something happened from those shows in KC. I think we're at like 13 shows now in Kansas City. So it's nothing like that.
Community loves you out there now.
Yeah, so far. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, nothing like that's ever happened in my career. So that was kind of one of the craziest things that's ever happened.
You never realize it, like when you're in front of that many people. Let's say there was 15,000 plus people there, whatever, 10,000 people. It's like those are so many fans that could sell out the Funny Bone 10 different times, just with a portion of those fans. And but I want to talk about the St. Louis ties, because it is a St. Louis show. You're back in town today doing some things. So can you take us back to growing up in St. Louis?
Sure.
and lead us up from like the moment of kind of like where you're from, growing up, and then what led you into comedy? Because I know there was a lot of things in your life. It wasn't like you wanted to be a comic when you were a kid, was it? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I knew exactly what it was. I think the first stand-up comedian I saw live was at the Muni.
Yeah.
It was Bob Hope.
Okay. Don't know that name.
You don't know who Bob Hope is?
No.
He's like a legend. Like he was a guy that was, he was a legend. He was a guy that would go over and do shows during the war. Like he would take all the USO tours. He'd like go over there, but he's a big TV guy. So there was this thing called Prom Magazine, I think, in St. Louis. It was an old thing. And they kind of tried to revive when I was in high school, and they gave tickets to high school kids to the Muni. So I went to the Muni, saw Bob Hope.
Yeah.
That's the first comic I ever saw.
Wow.
And I went to Mizzou, and there was a comedy club down there called Deja Vu, owned by this guy, Freddie DeMarco. And I worked there, and then I did I was in a comedy contest, and my friend just entered me into this comedy contest. And that was like the first time I think I'd ever been on stage. And even then,
that was in Columbia.
That was in Columbia while I was in college, but I wrestled in college. Okay. And so I was kind of pretty focused on that. And I got out of college. I just wasn't sure. I thought maybe I wanted to be a comedian, but I was, this girl broke up with me that was like kind of put me in like one of those, like, I don't know where I am in life. And I was, yeah. And so I thought, well, I gotta get a job, man. I gotta. So I took a job, and I worked for Procter Gamble for 10 years. But even during that, I was in Houston for 5 years. I was in Cincinnati for 5 years. But I would always go like back to like trying to do comedy at open mic nights. And towards the end of that run, I was doing it a lot. Yeah. And I started saving some money. And one day I just went in and said, hey, I'm going to quit and try comedy.
First Community Credit Union is the official banking partner of STL Bucket List. They've been serving St. Louis families for 90 plus years with 40 plus local branches and over 400,000 members. From personal credit loans to mortgages to kids and teen accounts, they also have a partnership with the STL Blues. You see Louie here if you're watching on YouTube. We're proud to use First Community. I use it for my own family and my own business. We're excited for them to be the official banking partner of STL Bucket List.
And
how old were you that time? Like 30?
33, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Had a good career and had a good job and everything.
Yeah, man. It was, it was like it was a good company. I was selling Jif peanut butter and Duncan Hines cake mixes and Crisco oil and stuff. And yeah. So I was conflicted but I remember being like, well, I was like talking about retirement, and I'm like, what am I doing, man? I'm not that old. Like, and I just was like, all right, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And the chances are I'm probably going to have to go back and
beg for your job back.
Yeah. I was like, they're not going to hire me back. Yeah. But I'll just have to go sell something to somebody at some point. But this is going to be, I almost looked at it as like, this is a 2-year vacation to just get it out of my system. And
just to know that like, hey, if I failed, at least I tried kind of thing.
Yeah. And it was like, people always like, oh man, it was so courageous. I'm like, I don't know if it was, I'll be real honest. Like, and this is getting a little technical, but the way comedy clubs work on the road, especially back then, was you have like an MC who's a local guy that goes up and does like 10 minutes, and people are usually getting drink orders or ordering food, and they don't pay a lot of attention to them. It's a hard job. Then, they don't get paid, a couple $100 maybe. And there's a middle act that's like, does like 30 minutes. And that person back then would come in from out of town. They wouldn't pay much. It'd pay like $500, put them up at a hotel for the week.
Yep.
And then there's the headliner, who has some credits and they get, can make a bunch of money. Well, I was always, when I was working at Procter Gamble, I was always the first guy.
The MC.
And I was always the MC, and it's not easy and it's brutal. And I literally was like, I want to be the second guy. Like, I just want to be the second guy. And people are like, well, it's really brave for you. I'm like, I think I quit mostly because I just want to be the second guy. I didn't even think about the headliner thing. I was like, I just want to go be the second guy on the road for a couple of years and see how much fun that is. It seems like a lot of fun, and it is, because there's no pressure.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to sell tickets. You don't have to get up and do radio. You don't have to close out the show.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with the check drop. You just go up and be funny. And there's somebody kind of warming them up before you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's literally, I just want to be the second guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, that year, I like basically lived out of my car. I put my stuff in storage and kind of lived on the road for 52 weeks. And I probably worked 51 of those weeks somewhere.
Wow.
And
every night of the week, if you could.
I mean, usually like it was
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Usually back then the clubs were open maybe Wednesday through Sunday or Tuesday through, I would come back through St. Louis and stay at my parents' house, and I'd go to the Funny Bone in St. Louis. And then back then the Funny Bone, they still have this like Tuesday open mic night that you could go work on material. So I'd go there. I got to be really good friends with the people that ran the Funny Bone.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Matt Behrens.
Is that the Westport one?
Yeah. There wasn't another one at that point.
Okay, they have that one in St. Charles now, too.
Yeah. Back then it was just Westport. And Matt was like, he was doing comedy at the time, but he was also bartending and then started moving into booking. And then they developed this Monday night thing. It was called Industry Night.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just like mail out tickets to every bar and anybody that works at a bar or restaurant in St. Louis. And then it was like anybody that worked at a hair salon. So we did this basically just because we wanted stage time. So like I would, I'd do a show in Cincinnati on Sunday night. I'd try to get home to St. Louis as quick as I could because I wanted to do the Monday Industry Night to work on my
And it was
stuff.
all free tickets for people. But I mean, for him, it was driving traffic to the club.
Oh yeah, man. And they were crazy audience because they were all like bar people.
Yeah, they like to drink, they like to have fun, and they don't get much time out, because there's nothing to do on Monday nights. And
yeah, I remember one night, I'm trying to think of one of these. One night, because they had like crazy drink specials. And I mean, it was way too drunk of an audience. And they had these t-shirts. So the MC that night decides I'm going to throw out t-shirts, but he does it like in the beginning of the show. And so there's like all these drunk bar people, and he throws a t-shirt out, and somebody like jumps over like 5 tables to get a t-shirt, knocks over like 50 drinks.
Yeah.
And some woman's got like red cheap Kool-Aid drink all over. And she goes up to Matt, the guy that was running the club and running the night. And Matt's like, oh God, she's going to sue us, or she's going to want like $1,000 or something. She's going to be, and he's like, ma'am, I'm really sorry. She's like, I want to talk to the manager. She's like, I'm the manager. He's like, what is she going to act for? She goes, I think I should get a free t-shirt. He's like, yeah, man, that's cool.
We'll go get you one right now.
You can have a shirt.
Yeah,
man.
you want
fine.
to?
Yeah.
That's so funny to like look back on those memories. So, looking back on how comedy's changed over the years and different things like that, obviously social media is huge.
Yeah, man.
Some of these young guys and young girls are really just blowing up through TikTok, through social media. It's just different than you can get discovered,
it did everything for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through all of it. Like, cause back when I was younger, it was like, get on Comedy Central, get on, I did late night shows back then. I got on Comedy Central, and that was always about get on the radio.
Yeah.
And then it all changed, and I was kind of like a little bit like, I think the business may have passed me by, or I'm a little bit older.
Yeah.
And then I was late to the game, but I was like, man, I have so much material. I'm just going to start putting it on the internet. So we just started chopping up clips, and then I put out a couple specials on YouTube. I put them out on Nate's channel, and it's like, that changed everything. Like all of a sudden people started showing up at shows, and more and more and more. And now it's like, if somebody comes see, it's not from, they're like, yeah, I saw you on Facebook Reels.
Yeah.
Which I mean, back when that first came out, I was like, that's the stupidest thing, like kind of looked down at it. But
and now everybody's on it. I mean, TikTok Reels.
It completely changed my career.
Facebook Reels, and you can get monetized now, so you can actually earn a little bit of revenue from your content. I mean, a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. I don't care I just just watch it.
Yeah, just having people be able to see it without, like you mentioned, having to go on these big stations. Like now, a lot of these people can build independent brands that are bigger than sometimes the station, and there's more leverage sometimes.
Yeah, you guys are doing it, man.
Yeah, we're independent. I mean, we're social media, and we can record whatever we want to do. And that you don't have to wait for a station to fill it in. And we've been able to build this big podcast in St. Louis. But was there an aha moment for you? I like to talk to, because I think of you. Would you call yourself an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I guess so, man.
Yeah.
I think you kind of have to be to be
yourself.
Yeah. I mean, my only hesitation is, I think that if you lean too far into the business with this, you miss the point, which is the creative side.
Art.
So it's exactly. And I think you got to do both. Luckily now I have some people that I can hire to do that kind of, that are
a strong team.
They're smarter than I am, and they have a passion for it. Where I still, because I was in business, so I still I tend to lean there, and every now and then I'm like, hey, why don't you back off of that and go write something funny? Because
that makes our job easier when everything else works itself out.
Or go experience something. Like I need to do a better job of that. I need to go out and just go somewhere. Go to the zoo. Go to Grant's Farm. Go out to somewhere. Go for a walk and just look at people, be around people, go sit in a Dunkin' Donuts and watch people. I need to do a little better job of that. When I do, it literally, I think sometimes being a comedian is just like noticing stuff. And, and I was like, I don't have time to. Mm-hmm. I tell some the younger guys, I'm like, oh, you don't have time? Yeah. Do this for 4 minutes tomorrow. Wherever you are at one point, just go like this. And just take it in. Yeah. And chances are that might spark something that you can start to write
Everybody's
about.
like this. Everybody's on their phone.
Oh man, I'm guilty of it.
And you're watching other people, so then you get the FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, and you're like, oh man, this guy's blowing up.
Yeah,
all these views. But like there's sometimes the views are inflated, and sometimes there's other strategies behind that. So it's really hard because when you look at the guys like Seinfeld or something, and he talks about writing. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about writing too.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite thing to talk about.
So what
You're
is
gonna be
your
sorry
day?
You asked about that.
Yeah, what is your day in the life when it comes to writing? Because when I heard this quote from Seinfeld about how he would just wake up every day and just start writing. Is that the first thing he would do every day, or something about him? And he's one of the most. I mean, he is probably the most successful comic, one of them of all time. When it comes to his career, and all of it stems back to writing. So you think of creative block and all these different things, and so walk me through your writing process. Walk me through a day in the life.
Sure, man.
When you're not touring, so those days in between the shows, what are you doing?
I mean, like I'll tell you the days when I'm proud of what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's hear your best day in the life.
Yeah, like a good. I think meditating for 10 minutes helps. Nikki Glazer gave me some meditation app that that helps. And then journaling, just basically notebook, paper, pen, cursive, 3 to 5 pages, sort of stream of consciousness. Just write. Just the only rule is keep the page moving. Mm-hmm. And it comes from this. Oh, I got to think of the book. But it's a book. My friend Holly Mandel, who I went to Kirkwood High School with, who's a creative, gave me this book, and it has this thing called morning pages in it. And that I just kind of stole it. I've been doing that somewhat regularly for 30 years, or 25 years. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And just write.
Not jokes, just writing.
Just write. Yeah. I think sometimes with joke writing, if you try to think about what's funny, you're going to get nowhere. Because it's like, it's impossible. What's fun? I don't know, And but if you can, like, what's different, just start writing. I always start with, like, what did I do yesterday? Who did I meet? Who did I see? What did I see? How did I feel? And then does that make me think of something that happened 30 years ago? Mm-hmm. And then if there's something that interrupted the continuum, it's like, oh, that doesn't normally happen, and that happened, or that person stood out. Why did that person stood out? Or I was angry, or I was depressed, or I was frustrated. I was frustrated is a good one. Yeah.
And you dig in on that.
And then I sort of capture that up in the margins, just print like, hey, I was frustrated at the TV repair guy, and just kind of hold on to that. So that's kind of getting things going. there's a few things that happen there. A little bit, The Artist's Way, by the way, is the book. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Thank God I remembered it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit spiritual, superstitious, but I believe like sometimes as a comedian, you'll just be walking down the street at 4 PM or in the shower and you just see something and you're like, I see this funny thing.
Yeah.
I believe if you do enough of that stuff in the morning, you may not find the gold in the morning, but it like makes you.
You're aware. You open
I think maybe
because you're thinking about what you might write the next day. You're like, I'm now more aware of.
I think you're just seeing connections.
The TV repair guy. It's like in the joke start. TV repair guy comes over to my house, and then you have a story now. Like with social media and with all the content we see, like I have my computer pulled up. I got stuff everywhere. You tend to not actually retain any of this information.
Yeah,
so it's hard for me to remember what me and my daughter did last week, even though I'm with her and I'm fully present. But then right after I leave her, I'm on the phone working on something else, and it's just tough.
So that's like one exercise, and then I have another one where like I'll just take the notebook and write TV repairman at the top, and then I'll write. I've been doing a lot of jokes about chairs in my new thing. I just write chairs.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing jokes about I was in the band.
Yeah.
So I just write band. And then maybe I just have another page that's like, it just says people where it's like, I need to dive in because I've had a lot of luck with like finding characters and like, so then I go from page to page and the goal is just fill up the page. Just fill it up. Don't try to be too funny. Because back in the day, I was like, how do I solve the puzzle right now? How do I solve the puzzle so I have a joke that's good enough to be on the Tonight Show right now? It's counterproductive. Like, be like, let me just fill the page up and have some fun with it. Maybe not the most fun you've ever had in your life, but have some fun with like, how do I just fill this page up with stuff that's related to that topic?
Yep.
And how do I if I already have a joke, how do I make it 1.5% funnier, 1.5% more specific, 1.5% more relatable?
Yep.
And then I get to the people part and it's like, all right, I'm going to try to remember 30 people from my past. Are any of them interesting? And then I get to this one. I got to this one, I'm working, I put a new hour out in May. So I'm working on another thing. I'm trying to get a new hour material. And I came across this guy. When I sold peanut butter, there's this guy, Dan Gardner. He bought Crisco. I think he bought peanut butter from me too, at this place called Fleming Foods in Houston. And I was like thinking of all the people I met.
Yeah.
Again, don't start with like, who's the goofiest person you met? Just all the people. And I was like, and Dan had this way of answering his phone. It was like the most, I don't know. He would answer, he'd go, Dan Gardner.
Every time.
Every time he'd take that pause, it was very specific. He'd just go, Dan Gardner. And I'm like, all right, there's something like, there's something there. I don't know what it is. So I've been on stage just talking about Dan Gardner for and 80% of it's not funny. 20%, I came up with this thing the other night where I'm like, I'll just answer the phone because the way I answer the phone is lame. It's like, hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Greg Warren. Nobody wants to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
So every now and then for fun, I'll be like, Dan Gardner. I'll be like, no, Mom, it's really me. No,
I'm just working on something.
I'm just working on, no, I'm not ashamed of my name, Mom. I'm just, it's like, I found that thing with that guy and then you get it to where it's a certain, like, okay, there's something here. Now just put it on stage.
Yep.
Back in the day, I think I was like, I have to have it 99%, 90% of the way before I'm willing to put it on stage. Now, if it's 40%, I can sort of shove it in the middle of all this other stuff that I know works and have some fun with it on stage, And if it falls down a little bit, who cares?
For over 150 years, SSM Health has been providing hope, healing, and opportunities to the St. Louis community. With over 40,000 employees across 4 states, they're not only delivering exceptional care, they're one of the region's largest employers, shaping the future of healthcare. We're proud to present SSM Health as the official healthcare partner of the STL Bucket List Show. If you've dreamed of a career where you're truly making a difference every day, SSM Health can help you take that to the next step. Learn more at their website in the link in the show notes. And that's where the practice comes in. And that's why, like you said, you're constantly, it's like any job, you have to keep doing it. You can't just show up at Madison Square Garden once a year and expect to just blow the roof off the place.
Yeah. The best comics are, doing it every night. And, So that's one of my favorite exercises. And I say favorite because I'm like anything else. Like, it's like, I procrastinate doing that. It's not even hard. It's fun usually, but I don't know why. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But every time I do it for, 5 out of 7 days for 6 weeks, it's like, oh, I just got a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're being creative and you're writing and at worst case, you're making your memory better by writing about all these things and you're remembering it. Just makes you a better communicator, makes you better. I mean, being a comic, I feel like you guys are probably great communicators, I would hope. But
I don't know if the comedians are the best listeners in some cases.
Yeah, because you're up on stage. I think comedy is probably the hardest thing. I mean, so you're a wrestler, so you were used to performing on a stage by yourself. I can see your cauliflower ear and everything like that too. But you're used to being in a mat.
The camera's got a perfect.
I know of that one ear that you get slammed on the mat.
Yeah, you guys are gonna lose a lot of viewers.
But when I wrestled in high school, and I would.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I wrestled at Timberland in Winsville.
No way, man.
Yeah, Winsville.
Who was your
Timberland.
coach?
Coach Robinson. He's over at CBC now. He's
okay.
A coach. He big dude. He's a beast. He wrestled, I think, at Minnesota in college or something.
Oh,
like that.
It was Todd
Hayes. Cornell Robinson was our coach.
Yeah, I know him, man.
Cornell.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, he's coaching at
CBC. Or he went out of town to some private
now he's
academy.
Like a big time school in Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah, he went to that it's like a private academy because at Winsville he was just a high school coach, and then he got snatched up by CBC, which is a private school, which probably snatched him.
They
up.
won some state championships, and then he's at like one of the. I'll think of the name of it. Just like
it's some Pennsylvania private academy. It's like, is it a Christian academy or something?
No,
it's like I don't know. It's like just like really big in wrestling and like it's combat sports stuff.
Top 2 or 3 wrestling school in the country. I know.
Yeah,
Cornell. I did his podcast actually.
Yeah, he was out in Winsville, so we were out west, like past St. Charles and stuff, is where I grew up. But
my buddy's dad coached him up at McClure North.
Okay,
Charlie Sheritz. But I think Todd Hayes was like the AD there.
Coach Hayes, or he was the AD Hayes, shorter guy.
Yeah, I wrestled with him in Missouri. That's great. Yeah. I didn't know you wrestled, man. That's awesome.
I know Hayes. But yeah, I think Cornell or Coach Robinson told me he wrestled Brock Lesnar in college because Brock was at Minnesota and he was a heavyweight. I mean, Cornell's a big dude.
Yeah.
But like, so when you think of wrestling, okay, let's say varsity match, we're versing our rival school. They turn the lights down. They have the spotlight on the middle of the mat. It's you and another guy. You're both the same weight. You both weighed in at 155, whatever it is. And you just have to go 1v1. It's kind of, in a way, would say similar to performing on a stage where it's all dim, but you can see these little faces.
Yeah.
And you're instead of wrestling somebody, you're wrestling the crowd and the mic to get them, because it's almost like getting a point right off the bat. So I need to get a takedown to loosen myself up.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a comic, but I'm
you're right, man. I mean, you're leaning into it. I think a little bit. I think I probably had too much of the wrestling thing early on because I think I was like pushing a little hard and maybe a little bit too desperate to get that first takedown. You know,
get some points on the board.
You know, if you watch a guy like Nate Bargatze, man, like he is never pushing. He is never leaning forward. He is always just letting them come to him. And he sort of has this like air of like, hey, I really, what I'm saying, is I'm just talking to you. And I hope you guys listen. But if you don't, I understand, you know, like where I think, I probably, especially early on, and maybe, you know, sometimes even too much now where I'm like, you guys got to laugh at this, man. You know, like you guys came, you paid, you got a babysitter. I got to make you laugh, right? You know, like I got to do my job. I got to make you laugh, you know?
Yeah.
And early on, I think a buddy of mine, Kenny Smith, was like, dude, you look like you're wrestling up there, man. Lighten up a little bit. You relax a little bit. Your shoulders are all tense, you know? That's so great.
Yeah. So I wrestled through high school, and
that's awesome.
I thought that it's one of those sports that I always felt, because I always played team sports. So I played baseball, I played football, I played all the team sports, and you can have a bad game and you guys can still win. But when you're wrestling, I mean, you do have a team, but it's the one sport that I feel like taught you how to be on a team but perform by yourself.
Yeah.
And same with comedy. Like when you're on with Nate, it's like you're, you know, the match right before that match that decides the night, you know, because they're going to leave that. Like when I go see, I saw Kevin Hart recently, and go see Kevin, he's got all these guys that do 10 minutes leading up to, but if they all kill it and he doesn't, then they lose the match. You know, and those guys, I mean, so what are some of I want to hear 2 names, 2 young comedians that you really like right now.
Yeah.
Is that hard for you? And then maybe 2 people that you looked up to in your early career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean,
there's a ton, probably. It doesn't have to be 2.
There's a ton. I mean, I was a big fan of Mitch Hedberg.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch was probably my age, but I got into it late.
Yeah.
And Mitch died young, but I mean,
Oh, wow.
he was like doing crazy.
Oh, long hair guy with the red glasses.
Yeah, like I mean, he was doing stuff that nobody'd seen when I sort of came on the scene.
He died in 05. Wow.
Yeah, he was unbelievably good.
Yeah.
I was a real big fan of Bob Newhart, who is an old school guy. My uncle Dennis gave me like a CD. It's like a famous CD, button down mine of Bob Newhart.
Mm-hmm.
He died, I think, last year or the year before. He was really.
He was almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
He was born in the 20s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so I mean, there's a ton of people that I think young guys. There's a guy named Brendan Eyre out of he lives in Maine right now. EYRE. He's extremely good. I mean, Joe Zimmerman. Joe's like he's like a peer, to be honest. He's younger than me, but he's we're kind of the same place in comedy. He's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Mike Vecchione is really, really funny. These guys aren't guys they're younger than me.
Yeah.
Not by much. Mike was a wrestler too, man.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Mike's just a great comic. There's some guys locally that I think are doing a really good job. I'm biased. My two best friends in comedy, the guys that are on my podcast, Tim Convey and Sean O'Brien, are doing great. They just put out a special. Nate's doing these little mini specials, and those guys each did one on Nate's on the Nate Land YouTube site.
Nice.
They did great. There's a guy named Will O'Donnell that does a great job locally.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, I admire a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Nikki is just killing it.
Yeah, she's on fire.
Yeah,
that HBO special she's filming's coming up next week. She's filming it.
Yeah. At the Fox. I'm actually going up like tonight and tomorrow night. She's running it.
Yeah.
At the St. Charles Funny Bone.
Yeah. She's
just practicing, and I text her. I'm like, hey, can I do like my 5-minute Tonight Show set on just to get ready? And she was like, yeah, cool. It's kind of cool because she's gonna be hosting Saturday Night Live in New York the week I'm doing the Tonight Show. So and we're in the same building basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be right when the HBO special is getting filmed. I'm sure that takes a long time.
Yeah,
I bet you that's what the timeline is. Probably 6 to 12 months after.
I don't think it's HBO. I think it's Hulu this time around.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because Hulu's like getting big in the comedy.
And Hulu just like rebranded again to Disney, so it's going to be under like the Disney wing. And Netflix has always been a big player, obviously, in comedy. Their lives were pretty cool. I watched a couple of their lives and stuff. But yeah, it's cool to see that people are investing in it. I was listening to a podcast with Andrew Schultz, and man, he's built an incredible brand. I mean, there's some of these guys.
Yeah, he's kind of does his own thing, man.
Matt Rife, I feel like, is a younger guy my age that has built a really big brand on social media that led to big things. So it's like
there's kind of one special, wasn't it? Like one YouTube special. I think these guys out of Nashville, 800-pound gorilla, sort of threw his special out that was out before, and then just threw it up again.
Republished it,
and then it just like millions of views.
You're talking about Matt or Andrew?
Matt. Yeah. Matt, I don't know him. I know Andrew, I not well, but we crossed paths in New York when I was living there.
Yeah.
But Matt, he was, it's funny because people are like, he's young. He was going on stage when he was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
At my friend's comedy club in Columbus, Ohio.
He's putting in the work. Yeah.
So he started at like literally like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, that's great. But yeah, Andrew, and now they're all like, now you have the podcast, you got the social. I feel like there's a lot of other income streams is it easier to be a working comic nowadays, or do you think 20 years ago with the different streams of income that you can create? Because a lot of them can be independent and kind of create enough money to take care of themselves. Seems like from the outside.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think there's different answers. So back in the day, and there's a lot of St. Louis in this, because like St. Louis was, the Funny Bone was one of the first clubs in the Midwest. And they booked the chain. This is before my time, but they booked the Funny Bone chain out of St. Louis. And at that time, there's like 30 clubs.
Yeah.
So you could come to St. Louis, and if they like you, they'd be like, okay, here,
boom, we're touring.
Come back to the office, and you just booked your whole year. So back in the day, the St. Louis Funny Bone was two shows a night, 7 nights a week, and sold out every show.
Wow. Classic times.
Yeah, that was a little before my time. But really up until I would say that like maybe 2005, 2010, maybe you could just, if you were just good, you could kind of work comedy clubs all over the country. If you were just good, that does not exist today. You have to sell tickets. Like you have to be known. People don't go to a comedy club anymore to be like, I'm just going to see who's ever there. They go because like, I'm going to go see my guy. I'm going to go see my girl. You know, I'm going to see.
And then maybe discover somebody while I'm there.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
They're coming for a specific
They're
person.
coming, yeah. And
like
now,
instead of just date night Friday, let's just pop by there.
No, they're usually like, I saw this person on this podcast or I saw this clip and I researched them and I'm, you know, so that's where the bulk of the business is. Okay. So in that regard, it's harder to be a working comic. Now, a lot of those guys that like 15 years ago were just good, solid comics that didn't really have media presence. Those guys are on a cruise ship now.
Yeah.
And they're doing, you know, they're doing a show every night on a cruise ship, which coincidentally, if you go on a cruise ship now, you're going to see some pretty good stand-up because these guys were really solid road headliners. But the game,
the brand, the social brand.
Yeah, the game changed where you got to have some brand. And, you know, you can get it, back to what you were saying, you can get it a million different ways. You can get it online. You can get it from the radio. You can get it from Sirius Radio.
Yeah.
My guess is social media is going to have some big part of it.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it was like back then, it's like you either Comedy Central special, an HBO special, or the Tonight Show with Carson, and he asks you over the couch, or you're not.
Yeah.
You're nobody.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, I can find it 50,000 different, you know, just all the comedians that you mentioned, they all got there in different ways.
I discovered them all from social media. So everybody's discovering stuff in different ways. And then you find them on social or movie. Now movie, you know, comics are in movies all the time now too. And I'm trying to think of who else that I listened to. I think his name's Andrew too. He's got the red hair. He was in the
Santino?
movie. Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, I don't know him either, but he's funny, man.
He was in the movie with Lil Dicky, who's a rapper, and they had a show together. Yeah, they had a show together. He's like in the TV film kind of industry.
Yeah.
And who's the guy on? They do a podcast together. I forgot the guy that's on his show, Bobby.
Oh, Bobby Lee. Yeah.
And these guys have been doing it, but they kind of talk about that life of like having to push yourself and sell tickets. And sometimes you come up short and you're not selling tickets. And it's like, you know, and we work with Live Nation, and Live Nation we promote stuff for them. And there'll be somebody coming into the factory in Chesterfield and it's like, we need to push 1,000 tickets before the end of the week. And like, you're trying to post things and try to get people, but like also people are more strategic with how they spend their money. They're like, I can, you know, buy a movie on this, or I can watch a special at home, or, you know, and stuff like that. So it's the experience. And I hope that in a world with AI that we almost like take a step back from our phones a little bit. And then we're like, we just want to go like experience something in person. The STL Bucket List Show is proudly sponsored by Suede Dispensary. With 11 Missouri area locations, Suede does so much for the St. Louis community. We've been working with this team for a couple years back since medical was here, and we're excited to support their new product launches, events, and community initiatives. We couldn't be happier to work with this premier cannabis brand, and we're excited for them to sponsor the show. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
God, I hope so, buddy.
Lock the phones up. The coolest thing about Kevin Hart was they made us lock the phone up.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yonder stuff.
Yeah, the Yonder. Yeah, but I think he was recording something or he's working on something. He didn't want to be filmed, but I think Shane Gillis, they didn't. But he was like, don't film me. Don't film me.
Yeah.
But he didn't make them lock it up. And those guys, I think what Joe Rogan built in Texas is really cool.
I heard that's awesome. My buddy Vecchione works. And Joe's like the most generous guy with comics. Like Vecchione says, you go down there.
Yeah.
And they're sold out every night. He does like, you know, 3 nights of shows or whatever.
Yeah.
And Joe's like, yeah, man, you just get you get the door.
Yeah.
He's like, what? He's like, yeah, man, you get 100% of the door.
Yeah.
Which he's like, it's not life-changing money, but it's year-changing money.
Yeah. You'll see your account at the end of the year. It's like, oh, you played a Joe's shop. You know, there's a little, and then, but he's selling it out branding wise. Yeah. And then, but just invest. Well, it helps that he built wealth outside of the clubs too. So then you can be generous, but as a comic himself, and now he's just like, I mean, most people probably don't even know that he's a comedian. They probably just think he's a podcaster, you know, and, the Kill Tonys down there, that's a unique. So there's like unique things that people are doing that are different, that make for good media content online. And that's the thing, is like, it makes for funny content online.
There's a kid that moved down there recently from here, Ronaldo, St. Louis comic, and Ronaldo, he's shown up twice on that Kill Tony, and you know, I don't watch it that much, but I was scrolling through, I'm like, Ronaldo killed it, man. Like, yeah, both times he killed it.
Yeah, and then people are like, it's like almost like a minor leagues. And then you get noticed on social media and you get on other shows. And then what was it? I mean, there's so many different ways, and it's just so funny to connect the dots. And there's so many comedians, but you guys are a minority when it comes to percentage of entertainers. Like, you might just be like, you guys are so different, I feel like, than actors and musicians and I don't know, like when you guys are all in a room, it's probably crazy, you know?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's
the big egos, just loud, just fun or no?
It depends. I mean, the funnest times I've had with just, the people that or if you're just around a lot of people that are genuinely funny. Yeah. It's some of the best times I've ever had. Yeah, but it's usually if you know them a little bit or you trust them a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it's usually funnier when it's like if everybody's on all the time, it's actually miserable. Yeah. But if it's just somebody's like just themselves, their natural funny self, you're like, this is the greatest. Yeah, these guys are awesome.
I know it's.
I gotta say this, man. I gotta point it out because I saw all the stuff on the Zwickle. I think we talked off air. Yeah, that's my cousin Brian Travers bought that company. Yeah, and that stuff is really good too.
Yeah, shout out Zwickle Light being an incredible partner for the show. And Upshot Coffee, my favorite local coffee shop.
Is it good? This is crazy, but I just started drinking coffee.
What?
Yeah.
What were you doing your whole life?
Tea. I was drinking tea.
Energy drinks, nothing? Okay.
No, I just tea. Like I got heartburn from coffee bad a couple times in my 20s. I tried it maybe twice.
Yeah. And I got scarred from it.
So I'm like, I'm not doing it. I can't. It's going to, and then I don't know, whatever, 30 something years later, I'm like, I've always been drinking tea. Yeah. And I'm addicted to tea. And I was like, I was doing a gig. I was opening for Leanne in the middle of Kentucky, and I had a hotel in Asheville and a gig in Asheville, North Carolina the next night. And it was like going through the mountains at midnight.
Yeah, and you needed something.
And I'm like, I don't know if this tea's going to do it. So I'm like, let me just sip coffee. And I'm like, I didn't get heartburn. This is pretty good. And then, so for the last 2 months, I've been,
we do espresso.
I'll try this stuff,
We do espresso upstairs. So I love just like straight espresso. Upshot's a great local group. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like, that's kind of my passion now. I got 2 little kids under 2, and I have to drink coffee all the time because like last night I was telling them before you came in, I'm laying on their floor and next to their crib trying to get them to go to bed. And then I'm waking up at 6 a.m.
Oh yeah, man.
In the trenches right now. But I want to talk about a little bit more about St. Louis because I feel like, people are going to look you up from this episode. So you're a Kirkwood guy.
Yeah.
Is that Kirkwood, went to Kirkwood High School?
Yeah, it's a little bit it's pretty awesome, but it's also discouraging. Like I feel like I'm doing really well in my career. I'm really excited, but I'm always going to be the second most successful comedian from Kirkwood High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's still time.
I don't know, man. I mean, Nikki, I texted her. I was the first people. I'm like, hey man, I'm doing Tonight Show. And she was like,
excited for you.
Genuinely excited. She waited, I think 24 hours. She's like, hey, I'm doing hosting Saturday Night Live. I'm like, okay.
Same week.
Yeah.
You're going to watch like the Kirkwood alumni page. They're going to be like, it'll be like a picture of Nikki and then like in the comments, it'll be like, Greg's also going to be doing a little segment on.
Yeah. And I'm like, who cares, man? Like, what up? Yeah. I'm like, I'm not even the most successful comedian from my high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's it's a good thing though. I mean, it's good for St. Louis and
it's great,
and good for Kirkwood and Tim. Tim
Convey lives there. Yeah, he's killing it, man.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. So I want to talk about some St. Louis bucket list things. So growing up in Kirkwood, you obviously after college you lived in Columbia, then you moved around to kind of Texas and the Midwest and stuff like that. But when you're back in town, what are some of those staples that you love to enjoy? And then what are maybe some of the things you mentioned? The zoo, you mentioned the Muni, you mentioned all these amazing things that are still here today.
Yeah.
So like, let's talk some food. Let's talk some things to do. I mean, what are some of those things that you love to if you have some friends maybe with you in St. Louis that you're like, hey, we got to go to this spot, man. This is St. Louis.
Red Lobster. Definitely. No, there's a restaurant in Kirkwood called 119 North. It's like a tapas place. My buddy Pat Carr owns it. And
little wine bar kind of vibe.
Yeah. I try to get in there pretty often. I love that place. It's just right around the corner. I would say a lot of my jokes have been written at Caldy's in Kirkwood.
Yeah.
That's like an office
right
for
there
me.
at the patio, like on the front patio. The patio kind of goes out real far.
Yeah. Now also the Starbucks in Kirkwood too.
Yeah.
My man Sean's been a barista there for I don't know, probably 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, over the pandemic, I probably made the switch to Caldi's, and I've stayed more at Caldi's than at Starbucks. I mean, if I'm like I want to go for the best meal that I can get, it's Louis in Des Moines. I grew up with Matt McGuire, grew up next door to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Matt.
That's awesome.
I was
just at Wright's for my birthday. He took
Were you
such
really?
good care of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt just brought out wine bottle. I mean, he's just such a good guy.
Yeah, Matt and
he
I,
is hospitality.
Literally, like he's a brother.
Yeah.
Matt and I, he still lives in the house next to my dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and Louis is unbelievable. I'm on the road so much. I haven't even got to Wright's yet.
Yeah.
But I hear it's awesome.
It's hard to get in there. It's one of the hardest places in town to get a seat, but Matt would take care of you.
I think Matt
he'll take care of you.
I haven't tested him on that. Every time I was like, hey man, I need to get to, my sister-in-law needs a seat at Louis. Nikki needs to get into Louis. We can always get to Louis. I haven't tested him on Wright's, but
it's a little bit smaller. He'll take care of you. Looking for something light, crisp, and absolutely refreshing? Zwickle Light by Urban Chestnut is the official light beer of the STL Bucket List Show. It's less than 100 calories, and it's the perfect drink for summer. Enjoy a beer at the beer garden, in the Grove, or chilling at home in the backyard with your friends and family. This episode is sponsored by Upshot Coffee. 3 St. Louis area locations in Cottleville, Break Shop in St. Charles, and their new Hi-Fi location in Clayton. I personally use Upshot Coffee every day at my espresso machine at home, and I try to visit one of the shops at least once a week. They source the beans responsibly from local farms all across the world, and they take care of their staff, and they take care of the community. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah, so,
That was a good meal.
Yeah, I love Louis. I mean, I've become like this sort of barbecue freak. And I didn't, St. Louis has pretty awesome places. I would say Stellar Hog is my favorite. But I really like Pappy's too. I mean, I think Pappy's may be a little more consistent.
Yes.
Stellar Hog on their best day is the best.
Our team says that too because we're foodies upstairs. They said
Really?
they had one of the best beef short ribs from Stellar. Stellar Hog, just like since it's a single location, they just go all out with what they're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you find that single location, that's some of the best barbecue is.
It's amazing, man.
And the OG Pappy's location, obviously.
Yeah, and then Pappy's. I think Dolly's in
De Pere.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
in the
Dolly's
Kirkwood, De Pere area.
Yeah, I mean, I think, are they somehow loosely related to Pappy's?
I think that they run the barbecue. I think that it's under the same sister company.
Okay, because the brisket seems very similar to me, and it seems very original. Like you can't get that kind of brisket anywhere else.
Yeah,
and then I like Sugar Fryer too.
Yeah, I
haven't been to the place down in Soulard that everybody says is really good.
The place in Soulard barbecue spot.
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm forgetting.
Barbecue in Soulard. Oh, have you been to Bogart's? Bogart's. I think Bogart's is also. I think Pappy's like runs all these.
Does
like,
it?
Pappy's is like a monopoly of good barbecue, and Salt and Smoke's got some good spots.
So, yeah. Tom's got some. He's buddies with Tim. He's got some good spots too, man. I mean, the ambiance of Salt and Smoke is probably the best.
Yeah. They get like a nice restaurant bar feel, like whiskey program, and it's more of a like you can get a big group there and do some whiskey drinks. It's not like a line like you're walking through.
Right.
Of these ones.
The sides at Stellar Hog, they're not always going to have them, but when they do, the sides at Stellar Hog are.
So you're a big barbecue guy. So when you're in KC during Christmas, you're definitely going to get some.
I hit everywhere, and it's funny because like it's certainly more prevalent there.
Yeah,
and it's certainly the tradition is. Because we didn't really have, I don't remember like big time barbecue places here
when you grew up
in the 80s. I don't remember even, there was like a spot here and there. Yeah. But Kansas City, it's like that's all they. But I would put our best up against their best now.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, Sean O'Brien's opening for that weekend. He gets sick of it because on the road I'm like,
it's hard to eat.
Hey man, I'm going to a barbecue every day. So, I'm sorry if you don't want it, but if you want to come with me, I'll buy you lunch, but we're going to barbecue every day. And in Kansas City, there's no way I won't.
Yeah. No,
Q39 is a place that I like, but then
Q39 Gates is out there.
Gates is great. Yeah.
One.
Arthur Bryant's and just Joe's.
I think I went to Joe's. Yeah. When I was out there recently, but
Oklahoma Joe's. Yeah.
Barbecue's one of those things is, for me, I'm trying to eat clean. Sometimes I can't eat barbecue every day. But
I mean, you kind of can. I mean, like it's meat, right?
yeah, red meat. But yeah, I end up getting all the French fries and the fried side. Then you got to get a soda pop with it, and then you got to get the barbecue sauce drenched,
right.
And stuff like that. But
Right.
what about, you mentioned Louis, you mentioned that. So you do live in St. Louis, but you're on the road so much time. So would you say you're part-time St. Louis and part-time roadie,
Yeah, I mean, if you just the days, it's probably more like 275 days on the road and the rest in St. Louis. So
how do you balance that? Are you married?
I don't know. No.
Okay,
no.
that's how you balance that.
Yeah,
then.
I don't have kids. I'm not married.
Yeah.
I try to get in town and see my dad and then go see my nephews.
Yeah.
There's not a lot else.
It'd be tough with kids to do that.
I would be a bad father if I had this schedule. I would have to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do it, with kiddos,
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure there's a way, and I know some guys that work the road, but I would have to dial it back, and then you have to get a little more strategic. But now I'm just having some. There's times when it wasn't like I could work every week. Now it's like, okay, we can work as much as I want, and I want to, because I'm like, that's how I get better. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and that's how you earn a living, and that's how you reach more people.
It's also it's blurred because people are like, well, what do you do for fun? I'm like, that's
what you do.
Like that's the most fun to me is like, oh, I got this idea. I mean, I still have hobbies. I'm a big college wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm dialed in on all that. If there's some way Mizzou's wrestling on a weekday, my dad and I'll drive down there, and I very rarely take a week off, but I take the NCAA tournament off every year, whether I go or just watch it with my dad. Yeah. So,
your dad's into wrestling too?
Oh yeah, he was my coach in high school. So yeah.
That's cool that you wrestled at Mizzou.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so. I really hope that wrestling keeps continuing. I mean, it's such a good sport. It helped me so much just become like a leader. I think it helps me in business too.
Yeah, man.
With what we're doing, and no, I loved it. And I'm still a huge sports guy. I don't tap into wrestling as much. I'm more of a NFL, NBA, MLB guy. Like the World Series is going on, you got NFL's going on, all these things going on. But every time I do catch wrestling, and then I watch MMA and UFC all the time. So a lot of the guys that you watched on the college wrestling,
oh yeah, man,
they're cracking into the scene. And the UFC, I mean, that's crazy.
It seems like it's kind of like a good foundation
of wrestling.
Yeah.
Now the guys are such good strikers, though. Some of these wrestling guys are like, dude, I've never kicked somebody or punched somebody in my life. Now I got to go, like, I can get this guy on the ground. Like Marab is this huge, he's the best. And he like 27 takedowns in 5 minute and like one,
Really?
UFC title match. And all you do is just take them down, boom, and you get points every time. And even in the UFC, but then you're also hitting them in the head while you got them taking them down. So you think cauliflower you're then. Imagine.
Oh man, getting hit like that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, I can't watch anymore. That guy's gonna die. Yeah.
So were you pretty good at you wrestled in Kirkwood? Did you win you get some state championships?
Yeah,
you get close?
I won a couple state titles when I was at Kirkwood.
Yeah,
that was good.
And obviously you went to Mizzou and got to wrestle there, and
I was good there. I wasn't great. I was good. I ended, I wrestled a lot of really, really, I competed with guys that were Olympic level. I never beat.
It was the Big 12 at that point, like some of the
Big
best, or the Big 8. Oh, shit. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm aging you right now. I remember the Big 12.
Yeah, it was the Big 8.
The Big 8, but like at that point, those Midwest schools, like was Nebraska in that? Wisconsin.
No, I mean, Big 8 back then, there was the 5 of the Big 8 schools wrestled. It was Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Iowa State, and us.
Yeah.
And that year, most of those years, those other 4 teams were top 10.
Okay.
And 2 of them were top 5. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I had a guy that went to my school. I think he went to Wisconsin, Dakota McGrew, I think, or something. He went there, and then you got Francis Howell had a bunch of good ones.
Yeah, they were always good.
Francis Howell had he's all over the place now. Terrence something. Would have been 10 years ago, but they just had some great. I mean, Missouri just always had great wrestling. I mean, I would love going because we'd go to Columbia for the state title.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Go down to Columbia. So being able to go in there and like sit up in the stands and just look around and see all these studs. Like I was never that great. I would just loved being on the team and just to go down there and watch our team compete and we, and stuff like that. And just getting those 2-a-days, those practices. I remember I was cutting weight I was small. I was, at the time I was 112.
Whoa.
This would have been freshman, sophomore year, 112 and then 119. But then I had to cut down to 103. So I was at the time, and 103 was the lowest. Now they go down to 97.
Oh, do they?
I think they changed the weights a little bit. So it's not 103, 112, 119, 125, 135, 145. So 103, I cut all this weight, and I was already too. Now they do the BMI tests. You can't cut. Remember, you put a trash bag on and you're running. And I was chewing tobacco, spitting to try to I thought that I would lose weight by spitting, and I was eating chewing tobacco on an empty stomach,
God.
Just terrible.
Dude.
And I get to the match. I'm 103. I'm drinking. My mom's giving me this protein smoothie. I'm feeling sick because I'm like, Mom, I just lost 9 pounds. But 9 pounds at the time was a lot for me because I was already so skinny.
Yeah.
I was like ribs. And then the first match I go out, it's a girl wrestler. A beast. She's because 103, she's ripped and she's at Warrington, which is way out west.
Yeah.
And I beat her, but I was like, I'm sick. I was anxious because it was facing a girl on the other side. And I'm like, man, I can't lose. But now my high school has a full girls wrestling team.
Girls wrestling is I think the fastest growing sport in the country. Yeah. Girls high school wrestling.
I'm glad they have their own team because then being the one girl on a team of 20 is tough.
Yeah, those transition years were kind of rough.
Yeah.
Now girls wrestling is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't know we were going to do a wrestling podcast today. Maybe we'll do another show, man.
Shoot, I didn't know you were a wrestler, man.
Last question, where can people follow you? Where can people obviously grab tickets? So the Funny Bone, we'll have your tickets listed on the Funny Bone website.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's kind of like it's my favorite week of the year.
Yeah.
I'll have some local guys jump on the show.
Yeah.
My friend Greg Garcia is going to fly in and host the shows. Greg is, he created My Name is Earl.
Oh, yeah.
Raising Hope. Yes, show. Dear. He's a TV writer.
Yeah.
But he's a real good friend of Nate's. And we went to Europe with Nate and toured, and he just tried stand up, and he's really good. I mean, he's a very, very funny guy, but he's got sort of a talent. So he was like, I kind of want to do more of this. I'm like, hey, come to St. Louis. And I think his daughter's dating, or his son's dating somebody from St. Louis or something. Yeah. So he's coming. He's going to host the shows. And it's just my favorite week of the year. It's that club is a really cool place to see stand up. So
and you're going to see a bunch of people you know.
Yeah, I see a ton of people, man. I see a ton of people. It's pretty cool, man. I mean, and then there's friends of mine, but then also St. Louis. Last time I was there, Derek Gould, who's my favorite sports writer, the guy that covers the Cardinals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Derek came to the show, and
I love writers.
Man, that guy's, we're lucky to have that guy.
Yeah. We're lucky to have a few. There's only a few left, writers in the town.
Yeah. McClellan has come too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Kyle McClellan, the pitcher.
No, Bill McClellan, the columnist for the Post. He's legendary columnist.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. McGuire, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt's dad was a columnist for the Post for years.
Really?
He was a writer for the Post. So when I grew up, all these
writers
would be over at his house. And it's kind of a partying type of, so I grew up around all these guys, and Bill McClellan would be there. So
and
I got
was
to meet
the heyday of actual true journalism.
Journalism.
Now it's a little different.
No, Mr. McGuire would not love what's going on now. But but Bill McClellan's, just this legendary, and he's been out to a few shows.
You get nervous when the family's there and friends and stuff like that?
Not as much, man.
Not as much anymore. At one time, probably.
Yeah, my dad will always come, which is cool. And my dad and my uncles come. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe my cousin Brian. He comes out.
Well, he needs to bring some beer by.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
he needs to get a sponsorship with the Funny Bone.
If
they're listening to we've been talking to the Funny Bone a little bit on just everything, just entertainment. But great, I appreciate you coming on the show today,
this is great, dude. I didn't know what to expect. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, no, glad we were able to promote you, and thanks for taking the time today.
Oh, of course, dude.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
I'll try to make it out to the Funny Bone. I'll get a babysitter that night. So don't make me regret it, man.
Hit me up, man. We'll take care of you, buddy.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, see you guys next week.
Hey, St. Louis, Brent Labowitz, Labowitz Law Firm, personal injury law firm here in St. Louis. Excited to be part of the STL Bucket List and sponsor them for their podcast. Just want to go ahead and say, if you ever need a personal injury lawyer here in town in St. Louis, give us a call, look us up. If you get involved in an accident of any type at all, give us a call, free case evaluation. We'll try to walk you through the process.
Today, they rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on.